Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating 0, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hektor the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I play Rillo Longshadow.
Hello there, friends. I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehide.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fantastic. We have convened once more for a tale of epic fantasy. Last time we left off, we met some very interesting characters, and y'all went to prison, so that was fun. Got a nice Silence of the Lambs type thing going with your
Go to prison. I think I'd remember that.
You didn't.
Well, you
didn't.
became an emperor.
Yeah.
The two others went to prison, and one of you was just rock hard. There's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Sam, you're gonna need to cut that.
Like, how can you tell?
All right, so without further ado, when last we left our heroes, Hektor, Rilla, Zurabak, and Ruger Firehide had uncovered a dastardly plot by the villainous Whiskers, self-styled Emperor of Rats. This strange, beardless dwarf had been on the warpath in the dwarven stronghold of Grotmire beneath the Everspring Mountains. Enraged that his pet rats were succumbing to a terrible sickness called rockjoint that slowly turned them to stone, Whiskers planned to take vengeance on the dwarves who would not lend him aid. He tainted the still of a popular local liquor, exposing countless souls to this sickness, including Hektor, who had ingested the drink but hours ago. A prominent local dwarf, Pockets, leader of the Turnkeys, had informed our heroes of an ancient sickness called rockjoint that had ravaged the dwarves long ago before the Glyph Purge struck. All those who had fallen ill had been locked away in an old mine shaft to save the rest of the hold from the spread of the disease. Whiskers' pet rats had tunneled into this old mine shaft, spreading the illness once more. While Hektor and Zurabak raided Whiskers' lair, Ruger and Rilla took Whiskers to jail. There, they spoke to Antony Geist, the Stricken, to see what he may know of this ancient illness. Antony mentioned a Medusa he met long ago who had plans to take over an entire kingdom single-handedly. And as Hektor's body slowly turns to stone before their very eyes, our heroes ventured into the doomed mineshaft number 10, to try to find a cure for this dread plague. So, we join our heroes now as they crawl through a stone shaft roughly carved into the back wall of the rat midden that makes up Whiskers' lair. The very unfortunate smells of rat leavings assail your nostrils as you all make your way through this 3-foot tall tunnel. And after scrabbling through the stone for a few minutes, you finally see an opening before you. This tunnel leads into a broad stone shaft, some 10 feet wide, but only 5 feet tall. There are obvious tool marks from picks and hammers along the walls, and at many points along the way, there are steel reinforcements girding the roof of this shaft. You have found yourselves within what can only be a mining tunnel. The floor is strewn with bits of stone, especially by this small side tunnel that you just came through, and you see tracks lining the floor. These metal railings with lattice work in between them. They look like they might be the track for some sort of carts to haul the ore that was once mined in this tunnel. The expanse of this shaft goes left and right, farther than your eyes can see, even with your dark vision. And so far around you, all you see are the rusted cart tracks at your feet, the regularly occurring metal supports holding up the roof of this mine shaft, and naked stone in either direction. What would you all like to do?
Well, I have a question. You mentioned dark vision, but I am a poor, humble human being, and I don't have that. Is there no other lighting source around?
There is no. It is pitch black in these tunnels. There is no light source.
Well, unless anybody has an objection, I'm gonna spark this here torch.
Cool.
That's probably the sneakier option, right? If we're hunting a Medusa, maybe?
Is what the sneakier option?
Well, because usually in this situation, I throw out dancing lights. But,
Yes.
I would think with that 100-foot range they have, that might not be remotely subtle. So I'm kind of leaning towards torch.
A, I should correct that it's actually a bullseye lantern. And B,
Oh, nice.
I don't hate having two free hands, but I have the lantern for a reason. I will totally Indiana Jones this mine shaft with a bullseye lantern.
No, to Rilla's point, the soft glow of a lantern will probably attract less attention than orgiastic disco lights streaming all about your party. Though, light in the darkness is light in the darkness. But anyway, yeah, so, Ruger, you...
Orgiastic.
I'm pretty sure that's a word.
I was gonna roll with
And
it.
I'm not gonna double check. I'm not gonna double check that. I'm pretty sure
Hey,
it's a word.
I have a question.
Yes.
What do I know about Medusas?
That's a great question.
That's a very good question.
And for the record, I light my bullseye lantern. At this point, I commit to that.
Yeah. You light your lantern as Hector, staring down at the circle of stone that has appeared on his chest, thinks to what he might know about Medusas. Now, they're monstrous humanoids, so that's going to be a nature check?
Oh, I guess I should pull up my character sheet.
I did poorly.
22.
Oh, shit. Natural 20.
Well, dang.
Which comes out to 20.
Well, that's that's very good. Yeah. So you.
So what, are like Medusas a problem in the gates? You got a big Medusa infestation
Hey.
up there? Like,
Hector's whole thing is listening to stories.
Mm-hmm.
that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Hector's heard. Hector, you have definitely heard stories about Medusas. And Zurabak being a druid, you have a special connection to the wilds and the various types of creatures that exist there, giving you some knowledge as well. What you know about Medusas is that they are greedy and vain creatures that have the ability to turn their victims to stone with but a glance. Their look can instantaneously petrify any creature that it gazes upon. If their constitution is not hardy enough, they have snakes for hair, living poisonous serpents that bite and secrete a terrible venom, and they are cunning, treacherous creatures that are incredibly dangerous. Their ability to turn people to stone with a glance makes them just unspeakably dangerous, especially if you don't have any guards against that or ways to reverse it.
So, quick clarification on that. They just have to look at you, or do you have to be able to see them as well?
So the way gaze attacks works are unless you take steps to avert your gaze, like literally looking away from them, which will give you significant penalties to like do anything combat wise, then yeah, you may become subjected to this effect. You can choose to look away from them, but you have to like actively decide to do that, which makes it tough if they get the jump on you.
So I rolled an 8 on my nature check, so you can totally tell me to buzz off here. But mythologically speaking, there's the whole thing that like the Medusa can't look at itself. I have a small steel mirror. Is that in play here, or is that something that D&D did not carry over?
So, Ruger Firehide, with that abysmal nature check, would not know fuck all about that. But you ask your good buddy Hektor, and Hektor can't think of any stories where Medusa actually turned themselves to stone.
Fantastic. In that okay.
Do I know if the mythological trick of looking at Medusa via a mirror works?
Yeah, you, as long as you don't meet its eyes, you're good.
Okay.
So yeah, looking away from it, looking at it through a reflective surface, those are definitely means of engaging with it safely. But again, there are significant penalties to try to fight it or do things to it when engaging in that defense.
Thinking back about his card that he drew, and the similarities between the Urali and the Medusa that we are going to face, Hektor pulls his headband down over his eyes.
Shit.
And he puts his hand on Ruger's shoulder. Direct me.
Hey there, big guy.
I need you to direct me.
All right. Is there a particular reason you're intentionally blinding yourself there, buddy?
Safest way to fight a Medusa.
Oh, right. So you're buying into what the Stricken said on it, and are just assuming there's Medusas around every corner. And so you're just going to walk through this abandoned mine shaft blind.
Also, the fun part is he's decided that he's more important than you.
That's fine. It's been clearly established. I think we all accept that. Rilla, on an unrelated note, though, you have a propensity for scouting as well, and I kind of thought maybe, with Hector's whole fear of Medusa in mind, maybe we should use my mirror here to gaze around corners before we just turn around them blindly and get turned into statues. If there are Medusas, like just in the total off chance that there's a Medusa in this mine.
What a smart idea, my bushy-haired friend? Question mark.
I have a beard.
That works then. What was I gonna say? I'm not very, sneaky, actually, though. You know, still a sorcerer.
Well,
I just wear the woodland garb because I'm from the woods. It doesn't mean I sneak everywhere, you know?
That's fair.
All
I mean,
so
I happen to be kind of stealthy, but holding a lantern and a barbarian precludes me the ability to also hold the mirror. So do you want to take your friend or this here light?
Trying to think which one is less cumbersome. Dibs on a light.
I pass Rilla my hooded lantern, and pull out my mirror.
Okay.
Now that means you kind of still have to stay within 60 feet of me.
So, for stat purposes, you all
yeah.
being experienced and intelligent adventurers, I assume that from this point forward, you are going to move slowly and cautiously, using your bullseye lantern to clearly illuminate everything, and use your mirror to peer around corners to sort of cut down the chance of meeting the gaze of any monsters that might be here. Can we just take that as assumed until otherwise updated?
Can I add one last
Fantastic.
note?
Of course you can.
I also, as an experienced Dungeons and Dragons player, happen to carry chalk in my inventory. What do we think about, like, marking our path as we go through this abandoned mine to which we do not, I believe, have a map, and maybe just mark our way for,
Zerback's bored. Zerback goes forward.
Good for Zerback, but yes, I agree. We should definitely mark the way.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we...
And if
sounds-
Zerback
that's-
happens to stay down here forever, who cares? What?
Yeah, Ruger, that's a solid idea. So do you guys go? You guys came into this stone shaft. There's metal supports holding the roof up. The only light is from your lantern. The shaft is 10 feet wide, but only 5 feet tall. So I think some of the taller of you got a hunch a little bit. It's obviously designed for dwarves. And do you guys go? You guys came in at like an angle to this. Do you guys go left or right?
Anything that clearly differentiates the paths? Anything unique?
Nothing immediately comes to mind. If you want to roll me a survival real quick, you could see if you have any way of like
25.
I guess we should follow the rat tracks.
Rat tracks. That's interesting. 25. 19 plus 6. How about that?
So you are, with that incredible survival check, you were able to, the road you followed down to Whisker's lair, the tunnel you went through inside of Whisker's lair, you're able to sort of orient yourself generally with where you are.
This
You
is
can tell
this
that-
is shaft 10, right?
Yes, this is this is mine shaft number 10. To the right would most likely be the entrance to this mine where it connects to Grotmire proper, where they would have caved it in to seal it up. That would be to the right, and to the left looks like leads deeper into the mine shaft proper. You do notice some rat tracks, but they scamper in both directions.
Well, I, for one, have always been inclined to take the left path as a left-handed person. But what do you guys think?
I don't care. Like, I'm not a sneaky I'm not a survivalist. I don't know which way's the right way to go. So.
Hector?
Hector is blind.
Okay,
all right.
I pick
you
left.
So you guys are going left.
Which way
Yeah.
did Zerback go? I don't know. I follow whichever way Zerback wandered off. I pick
Zerback,
left.
you go left or right?
Which one tastes better?
Wow.
Right.
Zerback
tastes-
probably went right. If
Okay.
he's licking the stone.
Yeah. The stone here is a little bit tastier. On the right-hand side, you walk forward, your back illuminated by the bullseye lantern that the rest of your friends are carrying. And as you make your way down the shaft, you start to see increasingly large piles of rubble. And then the rubble, as you make your way through this mine shaft, slowly turns into recognizable and fairly regular shapes. You don't see a pile of small stones. You see what looks like a foot. You see what looks like an arm connecting to a bit of a torso. And the farther along this path you get, leading off to the right, you see more and more complete, what look to be statues of dwarves. They are stone top to bottom. Their skin, their clothing, they all seem to be clad in fairly plain vests and pants with thick hardy boots, and many of them are clinging to pickaxes or shovels. The farther you get, the more complete these become and the more densely packed they are. What starts off as one or two of these perfectly rendered dwarven statues becomes clusters of them, all facing each other in tight rings. And the closer you look, the more you're able to see that their faces look gaunt. A lot of these statues seem to have sallow cheeks. They seem to have been ill or sickly, and many of them, their faces are twisted in visages of pure horror. As you continue forward, you finally see a large chamber open up into a wall of tumbled stone. You are in a 40-foot wide, 40-foot tall stone chamber with large metal supports in each corner holding up the roof, but the far wall is a floor-to-ceiling pile of tightly packed boulders, completely sealing off this chamber from the rest of Grotmire. And you see scattered all around this wall of tumbled boulders dozens and dozens of these dwarven statues, all seemingly perfectly carved, every eyelash, every beard hair perfectly rendered, many of them, their hands wrapped around some of these large boulders or clutching tools stuck into these boulders. It looks like from the way these statues are facing and what they were doing, it looks like the dwarves that were infected with rock joint slowly turned to stone as they desperately tried to claw their way out of this mine shaft. You see dozens and dozens and dozens of these stone dwarven statues piled up in clusters and groups, some sitting off by themselves, many curled up in a fetal position, many with their faces just warped in eternal cries of terror. That is what you see before you.
Fuck. Well, I quietly explained to Hektor what's around, just so he's up to speed.
I don't think those are statues.
I don't think so either, buddy. I'd investigate it, but I gotta be honest, kind of gives me the willies a little bit.
It is as you say that, Ruger Firehide, that one of these statues moves.
Zerback punches it.
Yeah, one of these statues at the corner of your lantern's light shudders slightly. Zerback immediately takes a step towards it and punches the shit out of it. Zerback, you snap an arm off of this dwarven quote-unquote statue, which falls to the side and shatters. You see behind it a strange figure. A small, stone-skinned humanoid creature with a pair of bat-like wings behind it giggles mischievously at you, its eyes shining like quartz in the light of your lantern. And as you look, two more spring up from behind two other stone corpses around you. Let's roll initiative. Ruger, what'd you get?
5.
Okay, that's very bad. Rilla, what'd you get?
18.
8 for me.
And Snake
Oh, right.
Wow, the DM remembered
die.
this time, and
for
the
for
druid
fucking
forgot.
once.
26.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's got improved initiative and just a general +7.
Okie dokie. So, you all find yourselves in this 40-foot wide, 40-foot tall stone chamber surrounded by the petrified remains of the poor miner sealed in this mine shaft when the illness proved too rampant for the dwarves of Grotmire to contain in any other way, and around you sprout 3 of these small winged creatures. They have stony skin, their eyes shine like quartz, they have sharp claws, and they cackle mischievously all around you as they sprout up from behind these stone corpses. As soon as Zerback punches one of these, Snake is the first to react. There are 3 of these creatures in the room. They're all pretty close to you guys. There's not that much room to maneuver. What does Snake do?
He goes to bite.
All right, Snake surges forward and tries to strike one of these creatures.
15 to hit.
Unfortunately, 15 is not quite enough to hit this creature. Your snake lunges forward, its sharp fangs skidding off of the stony flesh of the small winged creature. The creature's eyes glint with with humor, and it cackles loudly as your snake tries in vain to harm it with its powerful teeth. It is now these creatures' turn. They are going to rush forward on their tiny wings and attempt to slash at you. One of these creatures is going to slash at the giant snake that just tried to bite it. It's going to swing with each of its claws. Does 13 hit Snake?
No.
Oh, sweet. One of these is going to rush towards Zerback, who I think is farthest out in front. Does 18 hit your armor class, Zerback?
Yeah.
Okay, you are going to... so this thing flaps forward and slices at you with its claws. One of them misses. The other one is able to score a hit on your orc flesh. You are going to take 6 points of damage as this claw rakes across your body. The third one is going to swing down on Ruger and Hektor, and it's going to try to slash once at each of these gentlemen. Let's see. Ruger Firehide, does an 8 hit your armor class?
No, sir, it does not.
Okay, so this creature swings a claw at Ruger, and Ruger able to just barely duck out of the way in time as its claw swipes by your face. It lashes out at Hektor with its other claw, and it rolled very high. It got 24, and even without being blinded, Hektor, I think that would hit you.
Yeah.
So it swings its claw and bites into your flesh. And Hektor, you are going to take 6 points of damage. So there's one of these fighting Snake, one of these is fighting Zerback, and one of these is standing right next to Ruger and Hektor. So that is their turn. They rush forward, claws extended to try to rend you limb from limb. That makes it Rilla's turn. Rilla Longshadow. There are 3 bad guys. They are assailing your friends. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
I send a magic missile at each one, because I have 3 of them.
Fuck yeah.
So, first one, 4 points. Second one, 5 points. Third one, 3 points. And I just shoot them out and, I don't know, back up. What are these things? Could I roll any knowledge for them?
Yeah, you could roll me a knowledge arcana.
That's perfect. It's the only one I have. Okay. Ooh, that's a good roll. 23.
These creatures are mephits. They are tiny, mischievous elemental creatures. Mephits come in all shapes and sizes, taking on the aspects of the element that they serve. These appear to be earth mephits, mischievous little imp-like creatures from the elemental plane of earth, with some pretty decent resistances to damage that is not magical. They're tough little bastards. But yeah, there's 3 of them out there. You pull upon the magic flowing in your elven blood and conjure 3 magical missiles shaped like well-crafted elven arrows, which pierce each of these winged creatures as they assail your companions.
And then I shout out what they are to the group.
Yeah.
Fuck these mephits.
Fuck these mephits. Zurabak, it is your turn. There's a mephit right on your face. What do you do?
Well, I go for the tried and true, stab the crap out of it.
Solid call. Zurabak levels his spear and with his powerful half-orc muscles strikes out.
22 to hit.
22's definitely going to hit this creature.
So 10 points of damage.
Fantastic. Your spear bites into the stony flesh of this creature. You're pretty good at stabbing. You've been poking stuff since the very start of this campaign. You know what it's supposed to feel and sound like when you stab something, and the metal tip of your spear glances off a little bit of the stone flesh of this creature. You definitely hurt it, nowhere near as bad as you would have liked to. It seems like it has some resistance to conventional weapons. But you definitely hurt it. You chip off a chunk of its torso when it squeals in pain, holding its side. Which brings us to Hektor. Hektor, you are blind. You have a headband around your eyeballs. You can't see shit. You hear the flapping of wings around you when you feel the sting of the slash you were just dealt to your delts by this creature. What would you like to do?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna rage.
Cool.
And then I'm going to swing twice in the direction that I got hit from.
Hektor draws his maul and, summoning up the rage of his barbarian ancestors, he calls upon the strength of the Gatekeeper clan, grabs his maul and swings just recklessly in a square. Yeah, go ahead and roll your attack rolls. You got a 50-50 chance to hit him. Because we're playing again, listeners, we're playing 3.5, and you get a 50-50 chance to hit him.
So I rolled a 21 to hit, and I rolled a 50 on a D100.
That's a hit. Wait, no, it's not. No, you gotta get 50. It's a 50% miss chance, so you gotta get 51 or higher to hit it. Yeah. Let me try that again. Unfortunately, that is not a hit.
Yes, it is.
Are you sure?
God damn it.
All right, that time I got a 20 to hit, and I got 90.
That is absolutely going to hit. So while blindfolded and raging, you grip your maul in 2 hands and swing wildly. One of your blows is completely off the mark, and you almost take off Ruger's head. But Ruger kind of checks you, shoulder checks you to get you back on target, and you slam your maul into this creature. How much damage?
16 points.
Dang! You feel like you just hit a boulder. Your maul smashes into this creature, and instead of the satisfying snap of bone and splitting flesh, you feel like you just hit a big rock. You feel like stone shavings crash upon your beard and your chest, or you don't have a beard, crash upon your face and chest. But yeah, Ruger, you see this thing dip considerably after this blow.
All right, can I ask you
done.
a really weird question?
You sure can. It's D&D, baby.
All right, so I had this idea about kind of calling out to Hektor while I'm moving around the battlefield to be like, hey, I'm at your 6, I'm at your 9, I'm at your 11 o'clock, whatever. Yeah. And then I started thinking, does that actually make sense in a D&D world? Do they have clocks that, like, I assume there's, like, pocket watches or something? Does that make
Clocks.
Can we read them?
Yeah, so clocks definitely existed before the glyph purge without
clock
being
tower.
able to, like,
Forgot about the clock
write
tower.
down. Yeah. So, that's fine. We don't got to look too deeply into that. You can easily let Hektor know where you are in position to him. Whatever form that takes is whatever.
Cool.
But yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Fantastic.
It is your turn, Ruger.
So from my understanding, there is still one of these mephits right near at hand, threatening both me and Hektor, correct?
Yeah, there's a mephit on you two, a mephit on Zurabak, and a mephit on Snake.
So I'm going to go ahead and do a full round attack using both my battle axe and hand axe against this here mephit.
Fuck yeah.
So
You spin your twin axes in a perfect concerto of pain.
okay, critical 1.
A concerto of pain.
So then 16.
16 is going to hit this creature.
Hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll the other two for fun as well. So 19 on my next hit.
That is definitely a hit.
And then actually rolled super well on my last one, so 21 for the final one. So I think that's 3 out of 4.
That is 3 hits on this terrible, terrible mephit that has assailed your companion.
Fantastic. That is 20 points of damage in total.
Dang! Ruger Firehide, with your twin axes spinning in a furious concerto of pain around you, you completely disassemble this mephit. You lash out with your axes, and you clip both of its wings and lop its head right off its shoulders. It collapses in a pile of earth at your feet. Nicely done. You have dispatched this creature. There are now 2 mephits left on the field.
That is super exciting. Woo!
Good stuff. It is as you drop this mephit that you start to hear a screaming. You hear the sound of screaming, a shrill, high-pitched, hysterical screaming from one of the larger sort of clusters of these stone corpses. Something you can't quite see within that cluster of stone is just shrieking in absolute horror and fright. That makes it Snake's turn.
Interesting.
Snake goes for the tried and true bite, misses horrifically.
Snake lashes out, and once again, his beautifully poisonous but very thin snake teeth are unable to score the stone hide of this creature, unfortunately. That is going to make it the mephit's turn again. And these mephits are going to swiftly fly away from Zurabak and Snake, provoking attacks of opportunity. And they're going to veer towards the sound of that shrieking that you just heard from this cluster of stone statues. Zurabak and Snake, if y'all would like to take those pot shots, they do leave themselves open in there.
Got 20-something.
That's going to be a hit.
Did not hit.
Okay.
Snake is not doing well today.
No, Snake's tired. Snake's tired.
16 points of damage.
Fantastic.
I hope
Holy
Snake has
crow.
not been eating the rats. I sincerely hope Snake has not been eating the rats. And for that matter, I guess Rutherford. I don't know where Rutherford's at, but also keep an eye on your cat, Rilla, because...
He's a little smarter than that, I think. Right, aren't you? I say as he's sitting on my shoulders.
Yes, mistress. I'm rather intelligent.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Okay.
And again, you guys hear...
Okay. So there's a dying cat in the corner, and then Rilla is screeching like a cat to her cat. It's okay.
So these two mephits veer away from Snake and Zurabak. Snake tries to lash out while its back is turned, still unable to land a blow. Zurabak, you land a mighty blow against against the creature that runs from you, but again, it doesn't seem to have, good stuff like a rib cage or a liver or lungs that you can perforate. You're not doing as much damage as you should be, and it's able to surprisingly survive your devastating blow. These two mephits flap their wings. They flit over to this mound, this cluster of these stone dwarven corpses. They reach their clawed hands into the jumble of them, and they pull out what looks at first like a writhing bundle of white cloth. This writhing mass inside of this white cloth, and you, as they pull this mass out of this cluster of bodies and start to flap up over you all, heading towards the main shaft, you see this is actually what appears to be some sort of what looks like a dwarf, some sort of very old and very sickly dwarf that is wearing a very large set of white robes. They're mostly obscured. You can see a few bits of stone where the folds in the robe open a bit, but these two mephits are dragging what looks like a dwarf wrapped up in these robes out of this bundle and across the chamber back through the shaft you all came through. All the while, this creature in the bundle is shrieking, "Help me! By the gods, help me, please!" And that's their turn. So the mephits have grabbed this creature and that look like a dwarf and have darted off up the tunnel you guys came down. Rilla, it is your turn. At this point, they're about 50 feet away from you, down the shaft. You can still see them, but they're trucking.
This thing, how big is the dwarf thing they're picking up?
It looks like a medium size. It looks like the size of a dwarf. Like, you can't see too much within the folds of this robe, but it looks like dwarf size, like a medium humanoid creature. 2 arms, 2 legs, a head.
See, my instinct is fireball.
Yeah, I know it is, you fucking psychopath. Jesus Christ. I know it is. That's why I put human shields in here. I'm like,
it's
what does that thing want to do? Fireball.
And not only that, the goddamn snake is a constant human shield as well. Always goes first. Always heads to the front. It's like, fuck, stupid reptile.
The snake has evasion. Fireball away.
Well, yes. As Parker just said, Snake does have evasion, and Zurabak don't give a fuck if you fireball a snake. So
cool.
For future notice. But yeah, what do you do?
So he's definitely more than 5 pounds, and I can't mage hand him, right?
That is very much correct. Yes.
God, I still want to do fireball, man. Could I angle it and just singe one of them to death? Like, is one of them not holding this tiny man? Is there an angle?
Shaft, both of these mephits are holding are holding the person in the white robes, kind of carrying the person between them, and the shaft they are now in is 5 feet tall and 10 feet wide.
God damn it! I hate you,
no
Sam.
Way.
God damn it. Fine, I shoot 3 magic missiles and 1 mephit. Somebody else will have to kill the other one. 5, 2, and 4.
11 points of damage.
Once again, suppressing your urge to napalm strike everything in this dungeon, you pull
Cursing
upon
the
your
gods.
You pull your sorceress bloodline, and you fire off 3 of these beautiful magic missiles shaped like elven arrows. All 3 of them strike true, and you completely shatter one of the mephits holding this creature. The mephit explodes in a cloud of stone dust, and the remaining mephit sags heavily under the weight of their cargo. They are now sort of dragging it along the floor, desperately flapping its wings to get whatever creatures wrapped up in these robes away from you folks. That is your action. Do you give chase?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
run 30 feet forward.
Cool. Take off after it. Hektor, it's your turn. You're still blindfolded. No, that's not right. Zurabak, it's your turn. There is one Mephit left. It is holding a creature wrapped in white robes and dragging it along the ground. What would you like to do?
Now I'm disappointed I don't have Fireball.
You'll get fire something soon, I'm sure.
Probably get something worse.
Yeah?
You'll make the trees scream at us or some shit. It'll be fine.
No, he'll just make the trees scream for him. Because he just likes the sound of it.
Yeah, just move forward to stab it.
Yeah, if you charge, you can get to it for sure. Yeah, you rush forward, go ahead and roll an attack roll. You level your spear and charge down this mine shaft and lash out.
Nat 20 does a 23 confirm.
That is a confirmed critical hit. You devastate this creature with your spear. Roll damage.
29 points of damage.
Oh, shit. That's times 3 because it's a spear. Yeah. That's devastating. Yeah, you are finally able to, through brute force and extreme prejudice, able to work through even this thing's tough hide, and you slam your spear directly through this thing's torso and completely shatter it. It flies away from you and smashes against a wall, exploding in a pile of stone chips that rain down to the floor of this mine shaft. And yeah, the creature in the white robes is left there in the middle of the shaft, weeping and shrieking. What do you all do?
I grab the dwarf thing.
Oh.
No, I don't touch it.
Oh, don't
I
touch it. Don't touch it.
I run up and I don't look it in the eyes and I say hello.
The creature in the white robes shuffles around, tries to orient itself. They seem to finally get their legs underneath them, and they try to stand up. And you can tell that as they stand, they are horribly hunched and only seem able to stand at this incredibly awkward angle, like their bodies just racked with pain. They bundle the robes all around them, and you can just barely see like a half silhouette of a face underneath the voluminous hood of this robe. And they say, Thank you so much for saving me. These creatures, these devils, as if it hasn't been enough, all the time I've been here, all the centuries alone, and then these demons come. Oh, my narrative grace. Are you real? Are you hallucinations? Who are you?
I mean, technically they're Mephits, not devils or demons.
That's good to know. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
You've been down here for centuries?
Since those bastards in Grotmire locked in my entire family. There's a whole clan down here. They all turned to stone. We tried for so long to get out, and we couldn't. I watched everyone I loved just turn to these statues, and I'm turning too. They part a bit of their robe, and you see the reason why they're standing so awkwardly is that one of their entire legs is completely stone, including the boot that they were wearing on that leg. And you see a flash of like one of their arms seems to be stone as well.
I take advantage of the moment to help escort Hektor up to the scene. So we're all within talking approximation.
Yeah, everyone reconnoiters.
Honestly, that's kind of impressive, because you've had the disease for a couple hundred years? Like, damn. Real slow moving. See, Hector, you're gonna be fine. We got, like, more than your lifespan. It's fine.
Hector goes to kneel down in front of the dwarf. Misses the mark by a couple of feet.
I try and help correct, no, I try and put, no, dude, and reach to the right.
And paws out at the empty air and says, "It's okay. We're here now, and we're going to stop this."
I like to see him patting a statue.
Yeah. Hector's patting just a random stone dwarf on the side of the passage when he gives this impassioned speech. This dwarf slowly turns to stone and says, "We did everything we could to try to fight this off. We couldn't. Some of the elders, they took notes. They did some experiments down by the well, deep into the mine shaft, but something happened. The words, the writing, they all went away. We could never get back the knowledge, all the testing, all the things they wrote down. It was all gone in the blink of an eye. What? We never got the words back. We couldn't figure out what happened. Please, if you can fix this, fix me, get me out of here, by the gods, I just want out."
Well, fix it, we're sure gonna try. But until then, I'm not certain it's wise for you to go out. I know it's already spreading through town, but I'm not sure how many more people we need flooding out there.
Grotmire still stands? There's still the city beyond this wall of stone?
Well, yes, friend.
Zerback shrugs.
Come on. Yeah. Yes, friend. There is, in fact, civilization still present in these here mountains. But our priority is to preserve that civilization, and I worry you've been here for a few hundred years. Do you think you could wait a little longer till we solve this conundrum?
All I want is for the souls of my brethren to rest in peace. If you can fix this, please. Please do what you can. I can take you to where the well is. We think that's where the sickness came from. We found a supply of water here, but everyone that drank from it, they turned to stone. I've been living off the drippings from the stalactites. It's been horrible. I've barely survived all this time.
I offer them a consoling, ghost pat. I don't actually touch. I just do the 1 inch away, there, Fred. There.
Yeah. That's the fun thing about consoling what's basically a leper. Good stuff. So they break down. Oh, what's up?
I pull out a bottle of rot gut. I take a sip and pass it to the dwarf.
I correct his arm.
And again, yeah.
Yeah, you pass it to a statue, and then Ruger turns you bodily, and now you're offering it to the dwarf. The dwarf takes it from you in shaky hands, takes a sip, spilling quite a bit of it down the front of their white robes. But you hear a couple loud glug-glugs, and they noticeably calm.
And while the bottle is out of my hand, I will reach down and pull open my shirt to show my stony spot.
And it is at that exact moment that Ruber makes the connection that he's been helping Hector walk down these tunnels and has been bodily moving him around.
Yep.
Hector did that to me. So if I get sick,
yeah.
I didn't
Ruger
touch your
realizes
skin,
that-
and we took baths together since.
You got a little of Hector's blood on you when that mephit scratched him. The damage has been done for sure.
wow.
But yeah, no, that's you provide this liquor and you expose this spot on your chest. As you start as your mind sweeps over to the spot on your torso that is turned to stone, you open up your chest, your shirts, and you all see that the spot's bigger. The spot's about twice as big. It was the size of a gold piece. Now it's about as big around as like an orange. It's expanding. It's almost completely covered one of his pecs, and it's no longer a perfect circle. It's kind of like splintering and spiking out a little bit. It's definitely spreading.
How's it look?
Fuck.
Bad.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, buddy.
It's
it does
bad.
not look good. Which begs the question. Tell me, friend, you've lived here for hundreds of years with this. Why are you not a statue like the rest? And
The dwarf says, the only reason I've been alive for so long is because I stopped drinking from the well. I was drinking the water from the stalactites dripping down from the ceiling, and I'm a dwarf. I've never seen a human afflicted with this terrible disease. I'm so sorry. I don't know how fast it will move in you. It's certainly faster than with the dwarves. Well, if you're here to help, then we've no time to waste. Come. By the way, my name is Sarissa.
I am Hector the Gatekeeper.
Ruger Firehide at your service.
I'm Rilla. I don't have a fancy title.
And that's Zurabak.
Zurabak is gone. Zurabak's already walking down the shaft.
Ironically, I point at exactly where Zurabak was standing.
Yeah. So, Sarissa stands and painfully limping on their stone leg, with their stone arm kind of swinging at their side. They begin plodding their way down this mine shaft. They say, I've been alone for so long. The only creatures that have been here before you were those mephits. They can shape the stone to their will. I don't know what they were looking for here, but they're devils. They've been playing with the bodies of my kin, desecrating their corpses. It's ghastly. And you see evidence of that as you follow Sarissa and round a corner. The mine shaft branches off into two different directions, straight ahead of you. And Sarissa turns to the right and motions you ahead. You see a bit farther down the left leading tunnel, there are two of these petrified dwarves that are hanging from chains from the roof of the shaft, just sort of like swinging back and forth, and you think you hear a little bit of cackling down that way. But Sarissa hurries you all onward. I haven't made this trip since they arrived. I don't know what they've done to the tunnels down here, but you seem capable. I'm sure it won't be a problem. And Sarissa drops from your sight. Everyone roll me a reflex saving throw. As the floor beneath your feet, the stone beneath your feet in this mine shaft just opens up into open air.
Ooh! 24.
Damn.
I rolled a 22.
Damn.
17.
Okay.
All right.
Not as impressive.
Becky?
Snake got a 22. Zuraback got math. 20 on the dot.
I'm going to make a t-shirt with just Parker's face on it, and it's just going to say math underneath his portrait.
Fun thing is, no one knows what Parker looks like, so that won't be...
No. Use his Facebook picture, because it's just his mouth, and it's horrible.
Oh god, it is terrible.
I'm sorry, Parker. I was too busy trolling you to hear what number you said. What number did you say?
20.
20. Okay. So as you all are walking forward, led by Sarissa, the stone beneath you just falls away. As if it was made of some soft clay instead of the hard stone of the rest of this mine shaft. It falls away in front of you like a 10-foot square section. The entire width of the shaft just falls. Sarissa falling with it. The lot of you are able to keep your feet and keep from falling after them, but Sarissa plummets. You hear their scream as they fall, and then you hear a loud thud. And then you hear a strange sound of metal scraping on metal. Do you want to shine your lantern down there and see what the fuck's going on?
Yes. Yes, I do. I'm sorry for the delay there.
It's based on consent, goddammit.
Yes.
So you shine your bullseye lantern down there. You see that Sarissa has fallen some 50 feet down. They have fallen into what looks like the bed of a minecart on a shaft directly below the one you're standing in and perpendicular. And this minecart is starting to move on the rusted tracks left behind on the floor of this lower shaft. And they are starting to move out of your sight. What do you all do?
Fuck, I kind of want to jump into it.
So you're looking at a 50-foot drop into another mine shaft below you with a mine cart on it. Sarissa's fallen into it, and they are starting to speed away.
Well, do any of you magical characters have any magical solutions to this problem?
Unfortunately, I got rid of my useful spell for this, for other shit. So, I no longer have Featherfall and cannot help.
Yeah, my immediate solution is rope and climbing down, which doesn't seem to be like that's gonna help our falling friend very much.
I mean, rope is good. They're 50 feet down from you. If you throw a rope down there, there's a chance they could try to catch it.
Yeah, I could do that. How close am I to Hektor?
He's right behind you. His hand's on your shoulder.
I want to toss out that rope with the one hand, while with the other hand, I grab Hector's hand and put it on this here rope too. On this end of it.
Cool. You're gonna roll me a use rope check to try to get this rope as close to Sarissa as possible as their minecart starts to truck along down the line.
That is a class skill for me, so that's good.
Ooh.
That's okay. So that's a 7 plus 6. 13.
13's pretty good. Let's see if Sarissa's got what it takes.
Come on, Sarissa.
Okay, yeah, Sarissa grabs the rope. You drop this rope down, and like there is 2 inches of rope to spare as you, in full cowboy mode, just like hurl a lasso down, forcing Hector's hand to grasp it as well. It uncoils smoothly, darting down this open pit before you, and Sarissa reaches up and grabs it with their good hand, their strong hand, as best as they can, and they try to haul themselves up. Ruger and Hektor, I'm gonna need you to both make me some sort of check, strength checks to stay on your feet.
17.
It's pretty good.
Critical 1.
Okie dokie. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for what I've done to this session, but
Well, here's what happens. Since everybody did good but Ruger, here's what happens. Hector, you were able to hang on to this rope. You flex your barbarian muscles, and Sarissa is able to hold on to their end. And while the mine cart rolls away, they grasp onto the rope, and you are able to drag them out of that mine cart. So they thud to the ground. The mine cart spills down the tracks empty. And Sarissa is now on solid ground in the shaft below you. Ruger, you were unable to keep your footing on the edge of this pit, and you are knocked into the pit. You fall 50 feet down. You can roll a tumble check to try to shave off some of this hurt, because this isn't going to be fun.
I am also not good at tumbling. Well, though, in total, that is a 15 on my roll.
Okay, that'll shave off. That's definitely going to shave off some of the damage. All right, so you are going to take...
This is going to be fun.
You're going to take 12 points of damage from this drop. You fall off of the edge of this pit, and you slam on your back into the shaft below you. So now we've got Rilla, Zurabak, and Hector on the top floor, and fallen into this pit, we've got Ruger and Sarissa.
I turn to the empty air next to me and I say, "Do we get him, Ruger?"
Meanwhile, down at the bottom of the shaft, I say to Sarissa, I meant to do that. Definitely, meant to do that.
It was very brave. It was very brave. Thank you so much.
I was just really concerned about you.
Sarissa looks around at the shaft that you all are in, and they say, "Well, I think if we follow that mine cart, that should take us to where we want to go. At least now we won't be on the express lane. Oh, what a dastardly trap. I hate these methods. They have no respect for the stone."
All right, hold on. Okay. All right. Yeah, they suck. I agree. Now that I've fallen down this here shaft, I gotta be honest, not their biggest fan. And I pull myself to my feet and help Sarissa to theirs.
Cool. So yeah, you two stand back up. So back on top side, Sarissa calls up, "We can access the pool from down here if you all want to climb down. Might actually be a little faster."
Well, jumping's pretty fast.
Sense motive.
Ooh, yeah.
What'd you say, Rilla?
I said sense motive. Is what I said.
Roll it.
That's hilarious that at no point did I have those instincts. I'm just like, sure, I'll trust this. I saw a hostage and I was convinced.
10. I have no points in this, but I am suspicious of this very old dwarf.
I do have points in that, but I'm not suspicious. I'm not gonna roll it.
They seem like they're on the up and up. You are looking at a terrified, diseased, ancient dwarf that just wants help, and it seems like this, water flows to the lowest point in any chamber, so going this lower tunnel probably is faster.
They probably want revenge for being trapped in this hole forever. At least that's my suspicion. Just keep your head on a swivel. That's all. I mean, I won't help because your eyes are shut, but...
Zurabak chuckles at that.
Yeah, keep your blindfolded head on a swivel.
Yeah,
keep
just
an eye out, Hector.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some double cross and I can smell it.
Keep an ear out. How about that?
Alright, do you all climb down?
I lower the others, well, as long as they want to be lowered, with the rope, and then I'll climb down.
I have a climb of 0 and a strength of 11, so I could theoretically fall down this entire rope very, very easily.
That's a good point. This isn't good audio. What I meant to say is, you all climb down into the shaft. You
But I
are
got
now
a 19 altogether.
That's very good. You climb down the fucking best. You do it no hands, CrossFit, Stephen Amell season 1 arrow style. It's sweaty and delicious.
You stop halfway down and do that pose thing where you stick your legs out sideways for no reason.
Yeah, you flagpole.
I gotta wait for Snake.
So as soon as Zerback gets done doing his aerial silks routine, you guys get to the bottom of the shaft. And, yeah. You see, again, pitch dark, the ceiling held up in several places by these iron supports. It is 5 feet high, 10 feet wide, stone shaft, with a track for mine carts running down the middle of it. What sets this tunnel aside from the one you were just in is that there seems to be just shit tons of jade ore buried in the walls of this shaft. You can see that there was a lot more mining activity going on in this particular shaft before everything went to hell. And it's obvious that there was a whole lot of jade prepped to be mined and carted out of this place before everything went to hell. But you all continue.
I don't know. Is it possible to just like stone shape over all that jade?
You can fold a layer of stone over it. You can't make it disappear.
Don't do that. We need that jade. We
don't need that. The abominations upstairs need that to talk.
Well, potato, you know, like,
By abominations, you mean the living history of all of Meosha in the Hall of Whispers?
Yep, that's what he means.
But, so you all continue down the shaft, and you walk for about 10-15 minutes before eventually it widens out into another broad chamber, and the smell of water assails your nostrils. You see a small pool. It's about 30 feet across, the circular pool naturally forming in this depression in this stone chamber that's some 50 feet across. There is the sound of dripping echoing up to you all as you come to the end of this mine shaft, and you can see it's coming from a series of dozens of stalactites hanging down from the ceiling of this chamber that are all dripping water directly into this pond. All around this pool is another cluster of dwarven, of petrified dwarf bodies. Some of them are kneeling down with their hands cupped into the edge of the pool. Some of them are standing around a table, looking over what looks like used to be documents. You can see there's one petrified corpse of a very broad and very buff looking dwarf with an enormous beard that like flows out underneath the table, and their stubby dwarf finger is pointed down at the table, and pinned underneath it is a stack of ancient papers that are yellowed and crumbling.
That's awesome.
And that's what you see as you come into this room. The outskirts of this pool is a circular track, and this track leaves this chamber in 2 other shafts that lead further into the stone of the mountain. You come to this pool, and Sarissa turns to you and says, This is the cursed water that infected our people. We never knew what about it caused the rock joint, but once we drank from it, we were sick, and it spread so quickly. We'd fill our water skins with it. We'd share it with each other, with our families when we got home from the mines. It spread amongst all of us, and when we couldn't figure out how to fix it, they just threw all of us into the shaft and shut us in. If you can succeed where the rest of the elders failed, you would be true heroes. Come, there's something in particular I need to show you. And Sarissa walks over to this table, the stone table, where this very broad and buff-looking dwarf with his finger pinning some documents down on it. They walk over and they lean over the table and they point out a couple of these scraps of writing. And they wave you all over to take a look at the papers on the table.
I cautiously approach, surveying the room as I do.
You walk up, and as you do, you hear a hissing noise.
Motherfucker.
And you think it's Snake, but there's another, and another, and another, a hissing in concert, as if it's coming from the mouths of several serpents. And Ruger, as you lean over this table to gaze at these papers, Sarissa pulls the hood from their head, and you see that their beard is made of snakes, as the Medusa you've been traveling with washes their petrifying gaze over the party, and that's where we'll end. Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into our player characters' motivations, characterizations, frustrations, and try to get a better understanding of them as people. In this portion of our program, we ask each of our player characters a question and see if we can't reveal some deeper truth about who they are. The question for today is, what is the sickest you've ever been? Have you ever been stricken by a grievous illness? An injury? What is the sickest? What is the most infirm you have ever been in your life? Exploring health matters today. So we will start with Rilla Longshadow, Elven Sorceress. How are you today?
I am, as always, here.
Yes, you are, and we certainly appreciate you being here, taking the time out of your busy schedule. It's always a delight to have you in the studio. You really class up the place. The question for today, Rilla, is what's the sickest you've ever been? This one's a little personal, and trigger warning for the listeners, could get gross. I don't know what these adventurers are going to tell us here, so just keep hang in there with us. But Rilla, what's the sickest you've ever been in your life in the woods? Is there any illness that befell you?
So are we talking like cold or fever or any injury?
I think we could widen it up to include bad injuries. I mean, certain blows will lead to fever and illness. Have you ever been laid up for a long period of time, I suppose would be another way to phrase that.
I fell out of one of our tree homes. I don't know how to phrase this so you don't say tree house like a child thing. Like, we live in the trees. When I was small, I slipped in the rain and fell about 80 feet and broke both my legs. So...
My word, that is terrifying.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
So the great arbor citadels of the elven people out in the forest. It's
real slippery in the rain.
Treehouse. I can imagine. Running along all those catwalks and rope bridges has to be fairly dangerous. You fell... How old were you at the time? Relative to human years, please, for the listeners at home.
Like around 8-ish. I don't know.
Old
enough that I shouldn't have... I should have known better, but I was chasing Dara and not paying attention, and you know.
Well, that certainly
Slips.
sounds like a grievous injury, one that would definitely leave a lasting impression.
You want to see my scars?
Of course I do. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my! Oh, those were compound fractures. Oh my! Oh, audience! Oh my! Okay. Wow. All right.
I think this one kind of looks like a dog. Can you see it?
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh, it's wagging its tail. That's really creepy. Okay. Well, would you say that grievous injury has had any impact on your outlook or how you live your life? This definitely a traumatic injury. Who nursed you back to health, for one thing?
The elders assigned a team of women to take care of me, basically.
Right. Of course, your value to your village. I'm sure the elders would not have allowed anything to permanently injure their blood bag.
They were
magical
so pissed off, like so angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Rilla, I'm sure that took a long time to heal, and I, for one, am glad that you were able to overcome that horrible injury, and that you're here today, prancing around in fancy outfits in the streets of a major city. I'm very glad that you're with us and adventuring, and thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
All right, moving on. We're going to go to Ruger Firehide, lawman of the Freeholds. Ruger, how are you today, partner? It's little solidarity there.
Right. Okay. I'm good, host. How are you?
I'm good, and I won't do that again because it didn't look like you liked it.
Wasn't my favorite bit. No.
Okay. All right. That's okay. I'm getting scary, Ruger, now, and I didn't sign up for that. So I'm gonna move my chair a little bit farther back. So Ruger, in front of all these microphones and witnesses, what's the sickest you've ever been? Has there ever been a great illness or a great injury that you've succumbed to in your life before this adventure? What is the sickest you've ever been?
Well, host, out of all the questions you've asked me in my short tenure on this here show, I gotta say this one's not quite as personal as some of the other ones. But to answer the question, I once caught quite a fever. I was probably in my, late 20s, somewhere in that range, back home in Grimm's Hollow. And I had caught quite a bug. I was, just sick. I was delusional. I was seeing things that weren't there and, just cooking in my own skin. And, truthfully, I hardly even remember those days. But, luckily for me, I had a lovely and wonderful caretaker, who, saw me through to the other side of it. So.
And who was that caretaker?
My wife, Shira.
Oh, right. Your wife. Well, that's excellent that you had a partner to help shepherd you through that. Haven't seen much of her around. Where's your wife now?
Host, not to step into your lane, but from my understanding, the format is one question per evening. So I do believe I have answered what you have asked. Thank you for your time, audience. As always, we appreciate you. Until next time, Ruger Firehide. See you later.
Wow, he really turned the tables on me on that one. Wow, I didn't like the way that felt. Sharon, can we cut that out? Sharon, we can't. Oh, shit, we can't cut that out? Damn. Okay. Well, all right. Gotta get back in control of this. Zurabak. Zurabak, king of the shocker lizards, champion of the goats. Now, if I'm reading this right, emperor of the rats? Is that correct?
Don't forget the god one.
The god one?
Yeah, you gave it to me last time.
Oh, the
Well,
offhand comment about you being a dread god of destruction.
Yeah,
you
that
haven't you haven't earned that one yet, my friend. One day, perhaps.
Haven't I?
No, not yet. You're
I
still
accept your
just
challenge.
okay. Great. That'll be great character development, and we'll delve into that in future episodes. Zurabak, what's the sickest you've ever been? Living in that swamp
I
with
eat
all
the
those
sick.
nasty creatures. What?
They're weak, feeble.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What? One more time.
I eat the sick.
You eat
They're
the sick.
weak and feeble. Only meant to make me grow more powerful.
Okay, now see, Zurabak, it's interesting you say that because I expected that kind of answer. And so what I've done is a little investigative journalism.
I bite them.
Youch, that hurts. Sharon, can you get the back teen and this is gonna get bad.
Dread gods are back forever! And then he flips the table and runs out.
Well, that was interesting. I can understand why Zurabak decided to leave because, ow, Sharon, be careful with that back teen. Ow, Jesus. Like I said, I've done some investigative journalism, and instead of the terse answers that we're going to get from Zurabak, I've got an inside scoop. I went and talked to Trapjaw, the leader of Zurabak's druid circle, and I've got, straight from the lizard's mouth, a few factoids about Zurabak that he might not be willing to share, but that I am absolutely going to share. I posed this question to Trapjaw, and Trapjaw had this to say. Zurabak enjoyed eating poison berries as a child. He claimed they gave him power, but they only gave him the runs. Once, he ate an entire bush of poison berries, and he nearly fired himself into orbit. We had to spend the entire day cleaning out his cell. We don't keep those berry bushes around our homeland anymore. And that is the story straight from Trapjaw, the leader of the Circle of the Serpent. So there you go. A little bit of Zurabak's backstory. Sharon, we're going to need to call the cops. Zurabak's got a dumpster fire going on outside. We're going to need... Yeah, okay. He's not happy about that. Hektor the gatekeeper, please stand next to me because you're large and you make me feel safe. Hektor, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm terrified of your companion, Zurabak, terrified of the truths I've uncovered.
Aren't we all?
Yes, we all are, a little bit. Except maybe Rilla.
Hey, did you get a new nostril hair trimmer?
No, I burned myself. I had a small grease fire in the break room, and I just singed him right off.
Oh, well, that's better than what I thought you were saying.
I was very lucky that Sharon was there, and she had the fire extinguisher ready, and in her just inscrutable hands, she had that out in no time. Anyway, Hektor, the question for today is, what's the sickest you've ever been?
Well, being of the hardy mountain folk, sickness is not something that I have had much experience with. But before we grow hardy, we start our lives as vulnerable little pups. And once when I was a toddler, probably my dad shouldn't have taken me that high up into the really cold parts of the mountain. The healers that they sent for called the disease pneumonia. Pneumonia.
I'm sorry, pneumonia?
Pneumonia.
Oh, pneumonia. You had pneumonia. Gotcha. Okay.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, that is certainly a scary sickness, especially for a young child. The air up there's thin enough as it is. Like a respiratory problem has to be terribly detrimental. I'm sure your parents were terrified as you languished with that illness.
Yeah, apparently I was too young to remember, but from the stories I've been told, I was in bed for days.
Well, with your position as the chief's son, the heir apparent to Giant's Rest and the Gate, that I'm sure that would have put your whole family line into chaos. It's certainly a good thing that you made it through. I'm sure that was devastating for all of your people. You know, it makes sense that you are so precious to the people in the Gate, considering they almost lost you as a child. It makes a little more sense there.
Nah, it's probably just because I'm really, really personable and likable. Yeah.
So anyway, that's going to do it for us here on As the Dice Turns. That dumpster fire is getting real close to our front door. So until next time, keep those dice turning! Hey there, dear listeners. Sam, the DM here, checking in with the credits at the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening to Challenge Rating 0. We have recently pushed past a few personal milestones as far as our download counts, and your support means the world to us. If you have time, if you think of it, tell a friend about the show, maybe shoot them a link, share links to the podcast on Twitter, on Facebook, however you feel comfortable. The only way we can get more listeners and expand our vast powers, or if you folks help us out and tell a buddy, tell a family member, tell that nerdy friend you have at work about this weird little show you found and that you enjoy. If you'd like to follow us here at Challenge Rating 0, you can find us on Facebook at Challenge Rating 0. You can find us on Instagram at Challenge Rating 0. We're on Twitter at Challenge_0. You can follow us individually on Twitter. Beth, who plays Rilla, is at Dragon the letter N Distress. Brian, who plays Hektor, is at Dalabrack, DALABRACK. Alex, who plays Ruger Firehide, is at Alex Clanky, ALEXKLENKE. And I, your humble dungeon master, am on Twitter at Horace Kemp, HORUSKEMP3. If you would like to submit questions for our As the Dice Turn segment, you can email us at challengeratingzero@gmail.com. You could also hit us up on Twitter. Any questions we receive will be read on the show, and you can put our protagonist's feet to the fire with any questions you might have. Music for our lovely program is provided by the harp wolf Danielle Taylor Williams. You can find more of her amazing work at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com. She has an album available called Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change? I highly recommend you check it out. This woman is an amazing talent. She hooks up loop pedals and synths to her fucking harp. It is an amazing sonic experience. You really need to get this album. Additional music for the show is provided by the equally talented Justin Ra. He has a new website, justinra.com, where you can get information on tour dates, on any performances and new downloads. He has an album out called Age of the Spirit. It's this amazing collection of sort of like international sort of jam rock. It's very good stuff, and I highly recommend it as well. If anyone is interested in a private D&D game, you can go to samthedm.com, my personal website, and learn how to hire me to run a game for you and your fellows. If you're in the St. Louis area, I can come to your door, and if you are farther afield, we can work out something online. I am running 2 campaigns a week at Apotheosis Comics and Lounge on South Grand in St. Louis. You can check them out at apotheosiscomicsstl.com. I'm running games on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And having a great time, so if you'd like to come see me, feel free to swing by. That's going to do it for us here at Challenge Rating 0. Thank you again for listening, folks. As I said, if you like the show, think about recommending us to a friend, sharing some links, giving us a follow, all that good stuff. And until next time, dear listeners, be safe out there. Bye.